in this video, I'm going to show you something completely different. I'm going to show you a property that I bought 5 years ago, and I'm going to show you the condition of the property. A lot of people, what they do the project and they show you the end project, but they don't show you how the property looks like after you own it. Besides of being one of the first projects, we won the HMO of the year with this project 5 years ago. I remember putting the pictures on the Facebook and people say to me, show me this property after 6 months. If in case you wanted to do a high end or middle end or lower end, I'm going to show you the high end. If in case you wanted to do the same way I do, I'm going to show you the numbers, the valuation, how much the property appreciate. It was one of my first projects, so I made a lot of mistakes. I'm going to show you the mistakes as well. You don't make the same mistake I made. So let's go to the property and I'm going to show you around. Welcome. The condition is not very bad, but now let me point some of the things we've done wrong here. If in case you wanted to do your project, maybe you don't do what we've done, but the condition after 5 years, I don't think is very bad. For example, we haven't painted the kitchen at all. So this been 5 years, and yeah, things they use: wine cooler, they use dishwasher, they use, so if you can put dishwasher, double fridge freezer, I think it's quite handy for 6 people. It kept quite well. So this is a 6 bed, so that means 6 people living here. So what would I do differently here? So I think what we've done wrong, I think we put too many sockets here. And also what I would do differently as well here, when someone come and watch the plate, this is wood, so I wouldn't put this in wood. I would put this in something like this, which is more durable. So what we're going to do, we're going to ask someone to come and change here. You guys see is kind of destroying with the time because this is a wood, but it's something that we didn't notice, so we learned for other projects. So now we're here in living room. So living room, to be very honest, I wouldn't change much. The only thing I would do is maybe I wouldn't put so many sockets, because we have sockets here, we have sockets there, sockets there. Of course, the sockets there I think is good, because if people sit and they're watching TV, can charge the phone, so I think it's okay. But now here, sockets here, I think are a bit too much. That's the only thing I would change. In terms of wear and tear, I think the only thing we need to do here is painting. So just painting a bit more, because people get out quite a lot from this door. So we just need to be painting here. So we're outside. So outside, what would I do differently? The table, I would change the table. The table with the weather, it didn't sustain well, so we'll do a different table. We have sockets outside for all the properties we have. Maybe I wouldn't put sockets outside because people don't tend to stay outside. Normally they already charge the phone inside, so I wouldn't put a socket outside. Also, the weather in England, you guys know, is not as good. So when it comes to maintenance, as you see, this is a boutique style HMO. So all the rooms are different, all the tiles are different. So the maintenance, you need to have a system for the maintenance. So for example, for the tiles and for the colors of the room, what you need to do, you need to put kind of, if you see, we have the paint, okay? So we have the paint, and the paints also, we need to make sure that we know which room is this paint. And also we have a software where we can put where are the paints, because we have many houses, so they know, okay, this room is this paint, in this room is this paint. In case you have a maintenance, you can do the maintenance easily. You don't need to be, okay, what type of paint, or you don't need to paint the entire room. So it's something that to consider if in case you wanted to do a high-end HMO like I do. One thing we went to a dark color, which is good because in terms of maintenance, we haven't even done a lick of paint. And also this material, which is very resistant. So it's a very good material, and I think I'm going to put the material back there where is the wood. So this is a very good material, it's very resistant. So yeah, from the kitchen, I wouldn't change anything else. So let's go now upstairs. I'm going to show you upstairs. First, I'm going to show you here the corridor. What we do is we put some sensors. So the sensors, when people come in, and it turns on. This is very good for electricity. These lights, for me, they are cheaper, but they are very ugly, so we don't use them anymore in other projects. But this was one of our first projects where we used, but I don't really like these lights, but they are cheaper and they are function well. So now what we've done very well is this carpet. This carpet helps to maintain the house clean. So we put a very big carpet so people can wipe their feet. Also, we have a toilet here, and this toilet is very well kept. We didn't do anything, so been 5 years and it seems brand new. For guests that comes, if they don't need to go to the room, they can use this toilet. Before we go to the room, if you see here, we asked someone to come and paint because, you know, with wear and tear is kind of for these colors maybe not suiting here, so we need to paint. But it's been 5 years as well, so we didn't kind of touch anything. We never done any painting, anything, so we're going to ask someone to come and paint, I think, tomorrow. When it comes to this carpet, when we did this project, I didn't like this carpet because I thought it's very, you know, if you see light, and I thought it will go bad very quickly. However, after 5 years, this carpet is still very good. Compared to the other projects we have, the carpets tend to go bad because they are kind of a dark. I think this carpet, because the material is very good, so it keeps very well. So if in case you're doing your project, use this carpet. Even if you pay a bit more, it just sustains much longer. Now let's go and see some of the rooms.
I wish I could be strong survival on.
So the first room I'm going to show you is not a room, it's a bathroom. This bathroom belongs to the top room, and the condition is very good. So they will have their own shower, they can take a shower, they can dress here, they have a big mirror here, and it's very good. So maybe we need to do some paintings, maybe, but apart from that, I think it's spotless. It didn't change for 5 years. It didn't change much. I think we just need to do some sort of, there's something here that's scratch, but apart from that is perfect. This is the room for the toilet. So if the person that lives here needs to go down to use the toilet, okay? So all the rooms have Netflix, so they have TV, they have adjusted TV, so if in case they're in bed, they can watch TV, and all the rooms have desks as well. So in these desks, for example, if people work from home sometimes, and sometimes when we have space, we give them office. So some of the other projects, we have office, we have more space for them. So now let's go and see another room. This room is quite good and it was kept quite well. However, this room here, we need to do a lot of painting. So we need to paint this room because there's a spot there. I think someone just scratched something there. There's one here as well, nearby the wardrobe. But apart from that, I think this room is good. So these rooms, we're going to say about the numbers and all of that. These rooms charge, you know, we charge around 750 to 800. Remember, this property here in the north, so I buy 4 properties in the north and then I buy 1 in London. So yeah, so this room is around 750 to 800 pounds per room in the north of England. This room is a very beautiful room and it goes very fast. One thing we've done wrong here is the internet. If you see, we have the internet here. We need to put these boosters because then other properties we've done, we put the internet in the first fix. So we put really the internet in the router. So this one we didn't know. So we have the boosters in the room, which is not convenient. It's not the best, but that's what we've done. So when you do your project, make sure that you put the internet in the first fix. Similar room upstairs. The green room is the same room, the same layout, just different. Then we have a different wardrobe. It's like kind of more fitted wardrobe, but it's different. But it's very similar in terms of the layout and the beds and stuff is kind of the same. Here in this room, what would I do differently? So you can see we have a radiator here on the wall, but because of the layout of the room, it was quite difficult. But we decided to put the radiator here. Normally the radiator needs to be under the window, but in terms of the maintenance, I think this room kept quite well. The only thing I would say, there was a wallpaper there. Maybe we need to do some touch, but apart from that, I think is good. One more thing here is when you use toilets, because all these rooms have ensuite, make sure your tap is never black. So if you see, we put some black taps, and with the time it deteriorates. So make sure that you have a different one. So it's something that we don't do in any other our project, but as I said, this was one of our first project. And besides of being one of the first project, we won the HMO of the year with this project 5 years ago. So it wasn't that bad. So yeah, so that is the room. And yeah, now let's go and see the last one. Here we have a different room, is a completely different room. And then they have the wardrobe there. They have a table here for them to, to work. They have sockets there. Now, as I said, so we have the router there because, we didn't put an internet. One thing we've done as well, so if you wanted to do, we put, because you see they have suites here, so they need to take a shower. And one thing we did, we put this vent, which is a very strong vent. When they take shower, they need to press that button to take all the moisture out. Yeah, so in terms of the color, it kept very well. So I don't think we need to do anything here. One of the mistakes I made in this project is not allowing each room to control their temperature. I didn't know when I've done this project that you could do that. So in the other projects, we do that. We allow each room to have their own control, and they can control their temperature. What we realize is the house that we've done that, we save energy. So the house we didn't do that, we spend more energy. So if in case you're doing high end, make sure you do that because you'll save your energy. And also to not forget the internet, to put the internet in the first fix. So numbers, people like to know the numbers. So I bought this property for 260 and I spent around 120,000. Remember, I did also the garage. I converted the garage into a studio. So that was 5 years ago. And then I had a valuation of 450. 450 was the valuation. Now this property might be worth around 600, 650. It's been 5 years. And the properties are going up, even though here in the north the properties are going up. Now, it is the kind of rooms, how much we rent rooms. So we rent rooms here for 750 to 800 per room. It depends. Some rooms are smaller, some rooms are bigger. So and then what I do, I take 5% and for maintenance. So for example, if you have something, that 5% will be for maintenance. Now these properties stays longer because is high end, so then we do it properly. In terms of occupancy, we tend to reach 98 to 100% year on year in terms of occupancy. And also there's a misconception that people say, I remember 5 years ago putting this property on Facebook, different groups, and don't get me wrong, we got a lot of likes, 400 to 500 likes, but there was a couple of people saying to me, like, show me this property a month from now or 6 months from now. Can you show me the property, how it's going to look like? So the reality is, when you do these projects the way I do, you will attract different type of clientele because more professional, because that is our clientele. We attract professional clients. They tend to look after the property. My question to you is, would you do high end or you do a low end? Sometimes when you do low end, the ROI seems greater, but long-term investment is not as good. So, but it's something that you need to consider and decide. Now, if you wanted to know exactly the system I use to do these beautiful properties, and if you wanted to do the same, I'm going to put a link below, all the systems I use, and I also give to my mentees to create these beautiful properties. We all do high end. If you wanted to know more, I'm going to put in the description. Now, I hope you see value. Everyone shows you how they finish the project, but no one shows you how they maintain the project or how the project looks like after 5 years. So I hope you see value in this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.